Stylistically, JBL kept things simple. Easy to read buttons on the bar, sub, speakers, and remote. And everything is in that standard color of AV gear grayish black. No special party lights, orb-like center channel, or anything of that sort. Most people I work with want their sound equipment to disappear, and next to being truly invisible, I think this is the best job a soundbar could do, while packing in 16 discrete channels of audio. The subwoofer has a 12 inches down firing driver, and a rather large flow port in the back. I would recommend keeping this guy at minimum of 1 foot off the wall for best performance. The soundbar and rear speakers have a total of 11 audio channels for the front, surround, and surround rear channels, while on the top of the bar and surround modules, we have 4 channels for Atmos overhead audio. So in total we have an 11.1.4 channel Dolby Atmos capable sound bar. Connectivity and setup. On the top side of the bar, we have volume up, down, and input selection. On the front of the bar, hidden behind the grill, there is an LED display that will give you visual feedback on volume level, power state, and source selection. Moving around to the back of the bar, we have what I would say to be a generous amount of I/O for a sound bar. Moving from left to right, we have the AC power input, a USB port used for charging or MP3 file playback, an Ethernet port for hardwired internet connectivity, 3 HDMI ports for video pass-through, and HDMI ARC EARC port, and an optical port. I would say that all bases have been firmly covered by JBL here. With all those ports, it can be kind of daunting to know which to use and when. The USB port will most likely never be used by most people, unless you were desperate for a USB power supply, or had a lot of MP3 files you wanted to play back off of a flash drive. The Ethernet port is a good to have, but not 100% required. If you have a strong enough, and reliable enough Wi-Fi connection where the 1300 would go, I would probably stick to using that. The Ethernet connection ensures a reliable and stable connection to the internet for those of you with spotty Wi-Fi though. The 3 HDMI ports for video pass-through is a really nice feature to have. If you're like me, and have multiple gaming consoles, streaming devices, computers, and Blu-ray players, you may find yourself limited with the ports on your TV. It's nice to have a few more options for connections with what is essentially a 4K 60Hz HDMI switcher built into your soundbar. Lastly, you have 2 options when connecting to a TV for audio. I would strongly suggest that you pair this soundbar with a TV that supports Enhanced Audio Return Channel, or EARC for short. EARC is the best way to get Dolby Atmos playback on most home theater soundbars like the 1300. Optical connections are at this point a legacy connection for supporting old TV sets that simply lack ARC compatibility altogether, and will deliver a subpar surround sound experience when compared to the full capabilities of EARC. Sound quality and performance. When it comes to my impression of the sound quality and immersiveness of the Bar 1300X Pro, I was impressed by a lot of things, and let down by a few things. Number 1, the actual surround sound and overhead audio effects were astounding. Most Dolby Atmos sound bars create the illusion of speakers in places where there are none by bouncing and reflecting sound off of your walls and ceiling. I set this up in my bedroom, with the sound bar below my TV, subwoofer to the side, and surround speakers on my nightstands on either side of my bed. I was really blown away at how realistic overhead effects sounded. The combination of 4 Atmos drivers and excellent room calibration played a big part of this. I was also able to tune the volume level using either JBL's companion app or the remote control to fit my needs in terms of intensity of those effects depending on the time of day I was using this, as I didn't want to disturb the neighbors too much. Something I would really like to see JBL add is more granularity of control over those volume levels. The subwoofer, for example, has 5 levels of volume. Sometimes level 1 was not enough bass, but level 2 was way too much. The same goes for the surround speakers and Atmos channels. You only get 3 distinct levels for those: low, medium, and high. I would have preferred independent volume sliders for all of what I just mentioned, plus a master volume control. Maybe I'm just nitpicking here, but at times dialogue was a bit difficult to hear, and the inclusion of an adjustable speech enhancement feature would go a long way. JBL does have a speech enhancement algorithm called PureVoice, but with no manual adjustments that I could find. I'm happy JBL gives us the amount of control that we get already, and using the app or remote makes it very easy to make adjustments on the fly, but maybe just a smidge more customizability would make a big difference. A few things I have yet to call out that I need to mention though. Number 1, thank you so much JBL for adding support for charging the wireless speakers over USB-C. While these little guys do have up to a 10-hour battery life while being used, it sucks to have to remember to snap them back onto the sides of the bar to charge them at the end of the night. What if you forget in the middle of movie night and you have to miss out on all that sweet action happening behind you? Well, now you can charge and use them at the same time, provided you have access to an outlet and a long enough USB-C cable. Seriously though, this is a massive improvement over the situation so many people found themselves in with the JBL Bar 9.1. One more cool trick with these little fellas is that they are fully independent Bluetooth speakers as well. So if you wanted to take one with you out on the deck for a little music playback while you fire up the grill, you can. You could even set them up as a little miniature stereo pair. How many people are going to use this function is anyone's guess, but it's really cool that it's included. Final thoughts. The JBL Bar 1300X Pro comes in at $1,699.95, Soundbar MS power 1170 watt. Comparable to giants in the soundbar world like Sonos and Sony, you get a lot of sound, and maybe one of the best all-in-one box systems for any easy-to-use surround sound setup. The flexibility alone with true wireless surround speakers is a leg up on anyone. Put 'em up when it's movie time, take 'em down when it's over. No wires to run, an easy-to-use companion app, and reliable functionality. This is the perfect sound bar for people looking for surround sound in complicated situations. Bedrooms, open-concept living rooms, multi-purpose basements, basically anytime that you want surround sound some of the time, but not all of the time. Flexibility is key with the JBL Bar 1300X, and since no room is perfect for surround sound, flexibility is also king. Thank you for watching Team Handmade Systems.